The Maltese islands are teeming with architectural gems. The capital, Valletta, has imposing fortresses, plus a range of palaces, big and small, where Crusader knights and local aristocrats used to live. A few years ago, this building from the 16th century was in serious disrepair. Its new owner, Frank Dimech, restored it from ruin to a luxury home while preserving its historical character. The former knight's residence is now his domain.
My family originated in Valletta, and then, like a lot of other people, they went to live outside of Valletta. I decided to come back because I am very fond of the city. I love the city. So for me, it is a return to the origins of my family coming to live back here.
The residence is among the oldest in Valletta. Nobody knows who originally built it, but there are clear indications as to what kind of people once lived here.
The door is so big because it had to accommodate a coach with horses. It had to be big enough that a coach and horse can come out of the house. In those days, if you were very rich, you had a bigger door. The bigger the door, the richer the family was. So it was a way of showing how wealthy you were. So if you have a small door, it meant that you could not afford horses.
The courtyard used to lead off to the stables, workshops and kitchen. The living quarters were upstairs.
The patio was and still is the heart and soul of the house. It is what connects all the different areas of the house. The first floor used to serve as the servants' quarters, the living quarters, sleeping quarters, and the floor which is further up is what we call the piano nobile, as in Italian, which is the noble floor, where the original Knight of Malta may have lived, and where eventually the Maltese noble families used to live as far away from the smells of the street as possible.
The patio is adorned with ceramics from Malta and elsewhere in the Mediterranean, such as Sicily or Tunisia. The interior walls are covered with art. In addition to historical works, Frank Dimech has added items by contemporary sculptors and artists from Malta itself. The third upper level is home to the study. Frank has always been an avid student of Malta's history and loves poring over old maps and documents.
I have been collecting old maps of Malta since I was 16 years old. This I call as my study, but I also call it the map room. In fact, you will see on the walls some of my favorite maps of Malta.
Sometimes the palatial residence seems more like a museum, or indeed a library. The owner's interest in design and architecture is no coincidence.
It is my hobby and my work. This is also my profession, because by profession I restore old buildings, especially abandoned buildings, buildings which have not been lived in for a long time. It's something I enjoy doing, seeing something which has been abandoned coming back to life.
Restored to new glory, his home is obviously the envy of the neighborhood. But he's also restored 3 other buildings in the city. Across the street is another old and crumbling building waiting for the right investor. For people like Frank Dimech, there appears no end in sight to this labor of love.